Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube land and beyond, welcome back to another episode of Last Frontier Garage. Thank y'all so much for coming by, stopping over, hitting that old play button as they say. As you can see, we are working on, should be pretty much empty of fuel, Project Suzuki. This is the 73 model. It's been about a month since I last worked on it. I had to really kind of get down to the bottom of what was going on with it so I could accurately tell my client, hey, this is what's really going on, because he wanted to drive these on the street. So I was very, careful to make sure that everything was being checked off, just like as if you take your car to a shop, They'll let you know about everything, and then they can kind of coach you, or the good mechanics can coach you on what is actually necessary, Excuse me. And boy, I'm telling you, I'm stuffed up. We got cottonwood, cottons everywhere. I think I got like an allergy thing going, but it was like 80 degrees today in Alaska. It's literally like the summer going on right now in Alaska. It'll happen for about a month, and then things will start to slowly cool off as we head into the fall. But Project Suzuki, so to bring everybody up to speed, let me make sure everything's looking good here. And please excuse all the snorting and whatnot. So, I don't know, if you haven't watched the videos, go ahead and check them out if you want to. But this motorcycle started and ran, installed, started, ran, installed, started, ran, installed. So I kind of was assuming, dirty carburetor, took everything apart. The air filter element was literally falling apart and becoming sand. And then entering the carburetor here, which is the, you get your float chamber down here. Anyway, so that is actually phase 2 of what I'm doing right now. Phase 1 is going to be, another thing I found is the fuel cutoff valve was not actually working. So you turn the fuel off and it was still flowing out of the fuel line, right? In fact, that's out of the camera, isn't it? So let me back this up just a tad here. There we go. We got the Suzuki right there in the background, the vehicle right there, the grill you see is a Jeep Liberty 2005 that I'm working on for my uncle. And hey guys, we do some work around here, I guarantee that. Alright, so this fuel cutoff valve here, basically the fuel tank starts there, right? As you can see, it's pretty rusty. It's not insanely rusty inside, but there is evidence of a lot of, see how to do this here without making a mess. See all the corrosion there? Basically, let me see how well we can do this here. As you can see, the fuel seal needs to be replaced, as you can see, kind of a vent seal. It's not terrible inside the tank, but where everything kind of rests down here, I think it actually is, because as you can see, this is where the fuel cutoff valve actually bolts to the tank. Let me see if I can get a good and as you can see, there's a lot of just rust right around the general area. Sorry, it's kind of not focusing right. And really, the tank, I think the tank will be good. I told my client that there may be more sediment in there that needs to be addressed. But here's our situation though, guys. Oops. Alright. We have our fuel cutoff valve blown apart. This is going to be a 1973 Suzuki TC125 fuel cutoff valve rebuild. Cutoff valve. And I'm actually not sure of a couple of the different parts because I'm not getting a good diagram anywhere. This, which is more like a hose seal, like a garden hose seal, is sealing the little bottom part of the valve where actually the fuel is filtered and then sent or drawn into the carburetor. the parts I got shows this is an O-ring, so that's kind of weird. Whoops. I think that's actually something that somebody put in there, but I'm not exactly sure. This I need to clean up still. And then of course your actual O-ring that mates to the surface. This is actually your fuel filter mounting bolts. Anyway, let me back this up. So, of course, I do my videos right now in real time. Eventually, I'd love to be able to edit whatnot. And by the way, at any time, my son might be coming in. Come on in, buddy. Just put your bike away. We've been doing a video. It's okay. Come on in. Come on, get in the video. He's bringing his bike in, ladies and gentlemen. Let me focus this in. Alright, you can see the manual over here. It's got a carburetor, a good schematic, but the fuel cutoff valve, I'm having trouble getting good info. Come on in, buddy. Come over here. Duck down right here. Say hello and tell everybody your Fortnite username. Come on, get on in there. There's like two people in the world that will watch this. Me, your dad, and me, my dad, and your mom. Down further. Put your head. All right, there you go.
Hi.
All right, now duck down there. Tell them your Fortnite handle.
My what?
How do they find you on Fortnite? What's your gamer name? Get down in there.
They'd have to like friend me first.
Oops, and they might. What's your gamer name? Oops, get down in there. Come on. All the way. I'll pick it up.
Q1067785.
Alright guys, if you want to basically get beat at Fortnite, go
You're
find
right.
him. It's all good, buddy. Love you, buddy.
I'm the opposite of Ninja.
Oh, you're awesome. Alright, I'm just having a little fun. I'm just getting into the video.
Nice.
My super long YouTube videos of working on stuff. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna basically fix this thing. You know what I'm talking about? At some point, you gotta start working. So I'm gonna clean this mating surface. I'm gonna finish cleaning the actual parts, which I should have had done. And I'm gonna put everything together. This O-ring, I think, is the right part for that. This thing, I'm not sure where exactly it goes. It's actually wavy, which is weird. I'm not sure if it goes in the bottom here, against the O-ring, and against that, which I don't think so. That should just be an O-ring to O-ring. Sorry, this part. And then this is the four-way seal for the actual valve itself. You know what? And I just can't remember, guys. I took it apart a long time ago. I think this goes right in there. There it is. Yep. And exactly, it's got a little waviness to it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you gotta inspect your parts. I don't know if anybody's been there where you've taken something apart and then 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, you start working on it. You're like, crap, I cannot remember. So, this little washer here, if you can see how bendy it is? I just noticed that for the first time. Now, I'll be honest with you, I actually might have done that, but I don't think I did. I think it's designed that way to... That was the old O-ring. Basically, this cutoff valve is going to bolt to the bottom of the tank, and then down here is where the actual fuel gets filtered and then shoots down to the carburetor. But right here is a little valve system, so you're going to have your O-ring, or sorry, your whatever it's called, gasket. This washer is going to be placed right there. And what's going to happen is it's going to allow a little bit of spring pressure to seal against this thing, which, as you can see, is going to mate against the body here. And guess what, guys? As things change, as, you know, when you have a sandwiching effect like that, this washer is actually, well, yeah, we're going to keep the fuel in there. I'm actually thinking while I'm doing this, because what's going on here is that, all right, and exactly what I'm doing, guys, is examining my surfaces. I'm literally figuring how to put this thing back together right as we speak, because I honestly wasn't sure last night. So do you see the the dark ring around that. Okay, an O-ring doesn't make that type of thing, okay? So what happens here is this metal washer is doing the outer sealing. And inside of it, as you can see, this handle tells the fuel where to go. And so that just dropped, which I need to find. That's absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. So the washer, and that actually seals the operation. And this thing here, well, it's got the same type of, I'm telling you, sometimes it's hard to tell about this stuff, guys, but I'm gonna go with that first. And then that screws together, okay? So you get your outer, your outer clamp and the handle itself, your washer that actually, there it is. Yeah, this is dangerous. This type of thing will bounce about 1 mile if you drop it. One quick rule of thumb for working on vehicles quickly, or anything you're doing, especially if you're trying to make money, when things drop, always look at where they drop. Sometimes you'll be like, oh, it dropped, and you just keep doing what you're doing, and I'll find it because it's like it didn't drop that far, but then it'll take you like 30 minutes to find one special bolt because it bounced 8 feet. Anyway, so there's that. So what I was first doing, guys, is actually understanding how this thing goes together again. This is still the misnomer. This big old gasket. Looks like a dang hose gasket. So this is the original part right here, or so it says. So I see it's an O-ring. Suzuki. So these are our new parts. I've got 3 of these because I figured the other one would need it. And honestly, I'll be honest, I didn't mean to order 3 actually, but apparently they sent me 3. Anyway, and 2 O-rings for the float, or the bottom part, and then the O-ring, and then the little pre-filters that are actually in the tank. Anyway, all right, guys. This is probably the most annoying video ever to watch because every 15 seconds I'm like snorting and all that. But like I always say, this is for posterity, folks, you know? One day, you know, if the Lord blesses me with grandchildren one day, that's awesome. If he doesn't, that's fine. Someone else will see this. I was gonna say someday my grandchildren watch these videos. But it's cool, and by the way, there isn't a video on how to fix one of these. So, because I was looking for it. I honestly wasn't sure. So, I'm gonna fire up the air compressor. It's gonna get a little bit loud. And I need some air pressure to do what I'm about to do next. But I should be using air pressure for this part. But anyway, here we go. stop the video and make another cut, but honestly guys, the way I'm trying to upload these right now, it can get so confusing so fast because I download them to the computer, blah blah blah. Y'all don't care. Alright, what I'm gonna do first, this is what I was talking about. I'm gonna use this, which is an old abrasive wheel. I'm gonna extremely lightly touch up the surface of our fuel tank. Now, guys, this is very dangerous, guys and gals. What are we talking about? We're talking about sparks. We're talking about fuel vapor. So, I'm gonna vent that. This thing's been sitting forever. Well, a month. Pretty sure there's no fuel in here, but we'll find out if there is. So, I'm just gonna really lightly, I'm trying to keep it on camera so you guys can see it, but also don't want this stuff flying around everywhere. Keep in mind, guys, this might be a little bit rough for this. You don't want to really heavily... I think I'm going to do a wire wheel, guys. This kind of tends to scrub, which is okay in certain instances where you're not really worried about, you know, losing metal. But guys, when you're using any air tools and cleaning up gasket surfaces, the most important things to remember, of course, is make sure you don't distort the gasket surface, right? Because if you do, obviously, you know, it doesn't matter how much clean you get it, you just made a big dip in the surface, and the O-ring or gasket, it can't cover it, you know, so be very careful. So I just did that for that reason. I didn't want this thing to, you know, suddenly, you know, have some little thing where the O-ring can't get in there. So anyway, let's do it here. So you start to see where the, you know, I don't know what that was, but there's some sort of a corrosion there. I'm kind of melting it. So let me put some brake cleaner on there. I think there's a little bit of that adhesive left from when I used some duct tape to seal it, which is retarded because the fuel just really, just totally melted it. Anyway, so I'm gonna make sure it's actually clean here. And what I'm looking for, guys, is really all about the, see, this stuff is crap. You don't want to use these towels for that stuff. It comes apart and it becomes a new fuel issue. All right. So, sorry about it when it's blurry, guys. As you can see, it looks okay. See it kind of blinging there? I don't want to dig into it too much, though, you know? Let me do this without putting my big old head in the way. That's how you want it to look. You just want to look brand new. And obviously, guys, yes, of course, like, well, great, now there's fresh metal for new rust, but your goal here, guys, is to get things sealed. And whatever happens after that is okay. I'm just running these in, making sure the threads are, they look real dry. Alright, so guys, sometimes when you're working on stuff like this, it can seem like a big not a headache, but you know, like, oh my goodness, I gotta do what? I gotta do all this stuff. Like, this job really turned into more. I mean, I kind of knew. I checked with the guy. I said, hey, when do you want these things back? And he was like, well, before the winter, basically. So I knew I had some time, but I mean, guys, I'm basically diagnosing and repairing 2 I haven't even touched the red one yet, but 2 motorcycles that I know general information about the system and setup, but I've never, really worked on them before. So, anyways, guys, there's a little bit left there because I'm a perfectionist. That's actually a dig in the metal. Okay. Remember, guys, this O-ring is our seal that fits into the body of the thing. So that's my sealing surface. Where that O-ring is really all I that you should care about, really. So we want to make sure it's clean and level, and all right. Now, of course, before we go back together, I'll clean that up a little bit, one last time. But that's good to go for now. That's what you want, guys. You want to start getting things done. All right. Next, we're gonna move this carburetor stuff a little bit further back. I got my row of chemicals here. By the way, this stuff right here, it's basically a tune-up in a can for a lot of these vehicles out here. The mass airflow sensor does get dirty on a modern fuel-injected engine, so when that gets dirty, you get all kinds of little issues that start showing up. So, anyways, I am going to cover that. I'm so thankful. God is good, ladies and gentlemen, for this garage that I get to work in. Oh my goodness. Thankful to our landlords who say they'd like to sell this place to us, and we want to buy it. So we're just kind of trusting God with that. Don't want to get too excited. And just kind of let God do His work. That's the truth right there. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do? I'm so stuffed up, and I'm so I don't like being sick in any way, shape, or form. I don't feel too bad. I don't got a fever or nothing, but man, I am not as sick. I don't enjoy being any form of sick, I mean, who does? Right? Who does? No, I do. One of the reasons I think we get sick sometimes is because we take for granted. Not because we take for granted, but to help keep balancing our perspective that, if we were just healthy all the time, we wouldn't care about nothing. Be like, oh, la-di-da. When you get sick, all you want to do is just enjoy life again. And that's the truth, guys. That's for real right there. All right. Now, because this can I don't want to make too much of a mess here and actually stay organized. So I'm gonna get another. Weird bottles and stuff. I have no idea where they are. Alright. Let's get some air. Oh, we're actually going to need more air, aren't we? Alright, ladies and gentlemen. You stuck with me this far, so why not go further, huh? Anyways, we are going to adjourn and come back. I'm going to record this next segment in about 15 minutes, but episode, whatever it is going to be, for the Suzuki motorcycle. The next step is cleaning and rebuilding the fuel cutoff valve. God bless. That's into your garage. Out.